So I'm just making this video to explain my entry for the competition or little fun challenge on the Novation Circuit Owners group that was posted by Damien Woods. He actually asked me to talk through this to explain what's going on with the time signatures here. The challenge basically is that you're allowed to use 4 pads on the pattern page that are no tweaking live. So my entry sounds like this. Normally, if you were to listen to this, you would think of the tempo as being 190 beats per minute. That's basically what it's programmed as. 1/8 notes is the main pulse of the drums, 1/8 notes at 190 beats per minute. But what we can do by halving the tempo is we can use the 16th note pad, so basically each pad in a row, instead of now being 16th notes on the note page, normally these would be 16th notes. Because we've halved the tempo, we feel them or hear them as 8th notes. The easiest way for me to explain this is just on a blank session page. If I just program a really simple beat on the drum part, so I'll just do just a basic, and I'll just do there we go, on the hi-hats. Really basic drum beat on the circuit, and this is what we've got at 120 beats per minute. Now that gives us the option to use 16th notes in the middle, so if I add 16th notes at the end, that sounds great. But if we're not going to use 16th notes, if the rhythmic fidelity of the piece only goes as low as 8th notes, we can basically half time the tempo and move everything up so we can get the same sound, but it will only take half the pattern. So at the moment we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, and then that's the pattern looping again. What we can do if we go back to the drum page is move everything along, so it's going to go 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, and I'm going to put these as 16th notes, and now it would sound basically double time. But if we half the tempo to 60, we basically get the exact same thing I was playing before, but it lasts for only half the length, so we can squeeze 2 cycles of that in one pattern pad. So we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 now. And the other thing that's going on is that there's a lot of odd time signatures here. Now these are actually really straightforward, and when I say straightforward, what I mean by that is on every downbeat, on every first beat of every bar, there is an open hi-hat and there is a bass drum. So if I just mute everything except the drum parts now, in fact I'll just mute everything except the hi-hat. And then we're looping again. So every time you hear an open hi-hat, that's when the bar starts again. Now the time signature changes are as follows. It's all over 8, so it's something 8 for every single time change. The sequence is 7, 7, 7, 5, 5, 7, 7, 3, 3, 5, 3, 5. I'm going to count that through for you. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 1. And then we loop again. So that's how I started it off. I started off with my time signature changes. Now, this obviously proves you can do odd time signatures on the circuit, but the thing is it has to add up to a multiple of 16 basically, or it has to add up to 16 as you go. The next thing I did was, first I realized that actually sounds quite slow. So what we can do is, if I go to the effects page and turn this back up, I've now got a tempo locked delay line that basically adds a note between each of these notes, which sounds great. If we add in the rest of the drums now, we've got just a bass drum and a snare, and you'll see that if I go to the velocity page on the bass drum, you see this first note here is nice and big on the velocity side, and then this one is quite light, so I've got ghost notes in there to make it sound a bit groovier. If I bump it back up to the 95, And I did one simple trick on the snare as well to get that 16th note tom roll. I've pitched up and down the snare drum for these notes, and I've added delay, wetness, so we get to hear that 16th note roll there. We're going to have a look at the synth part now. So the synth part's doing just a bass line. So and then it's just sweeping on every single one of those ticks, every single one of those eighth notes. Let's listen to the chords now, these synth ones. So this is where things are interesting. There's two things going on here. There's the chords, which I programmed in first, and then I recorded the synth line on top. And then it loops. So we've got the chords underneath, or whatever it changes to, and they're set to, if you go to the gate length on these, they're set to the 7 beats, or whatever it is for each bar. But the notes later on, you'll see the melody line actually goes quite fast. The way you do that is you program your chords in first and then record the melody on top, and that way you can have one note that maybe lasts on the gate page would last for 7 or 6 beats or whatever, and then you can have several notes on each of those beats. What you can't then do is individually adjust the gate of 2 notes that occur at the same time. So you have to be creative with your recording and really careful when you're recording. Right, I'm going to play it one more time, and the second time around I'm going to try and sort of speak the time signatures through, or count the time signatures through up to speed, and I'll pan the circuit to the left, headphones, and my voice to the right, so you can easily hear the changes. So there we go, you kind of get out of breath by counting it out loud, but it's more of a feel thing. That's an easy way to get odd time signatures on the circuit, is just dividing what you can think of as a much longer bar up, but remember it must add up to one division of 16 or 8, depending on how you've divided the tempo, for it to loop naturally all the way through.